Hey guys, Daryl Garth here, your urban shaman. I'm gonna give you the 5 reasons why your business is not successful. The only 5 reasons why your business is not successful. Now, the reason why I know there are only 5 things why your business is not successful is because I have built businesses year after year. And in the process of me building those businesses, I learned a very, very consistent system that teaches you how to break down a business and how to figure out what isn't working and what is working. Okay, so I'm gonna go through these 5 reasons why your business is not working and also give you some tips on how you can fix these 5 things. Because the thing about these 5 things is that if you have one of these 5 things out of alignment, then your business could not be successful. However, on the flip side, if you have all of these things in alignment and there's no reason and no possible way for your business to not be successful. All right? That being said, let's get into it. So the first reason why your business is not successful is probably because you either A, don't know the value of your product or the value of your service. Okay? Knowing the value of your product or your service is easily one of the most important things when it comes to your value. I remember a story that this guru told me where he talked about this man who walks into a store. And in the store, there were these vases, but every single vase looked exactly alike. However, the store was split to where the upper half of the store had the vases selling for $700, and then the bottom level of vases were being sold for $7. And so the individual is staring at the different vases, and then he goes up to the guy who owns the store and he says, "What's the difference between the top vases and the lower vases?" Guy says, "No difference, exactly the same." Guy then looks at the owner and says, "Then why are they different prices?" Owner looks back at the guy and says, "Some people want to pay $700 for a vase. Other people want to pay $7 for a vase." So what does that mean? That means that people pay for what they feel is valuable. Okay? So if you have a product and you're trying to get that product to be a successful selling product, then you want to make sure that you're setting the right value for that product. And if you have a product and you have not done product research means going and looking at what similar products are selling for and seeing what people are buying from similar products and similar companies that you're working with. Once you can see that and do a little bit of research, it'll give you a better idea on how to offer a price and a value for your product that is reciprocal to what's already working. The goal is to always find what is already working. All right. Now, point number 2, the second reason why you're probably not successful right now is because you don't know how to communicate your value. Okay. Learning how to communicate your value has to do with the way you brand and the way that you market yourself. So let's say you have a winning product. If you have a winning product, but you're marketing or you're branding your product like a real crappy product, then even if you do have a good product, no one's going to be able to see it and want to reciprocate the value of that. So you want to make sure that you have a brand and a web presence, and however platform you're using to market, you want to make sure that that has the quality and the time and effort put into it so that when people see it, they know the value and they're willing to pay the value for that. All right. So if you're looking to polish up your brand, let me know at the end of this video. I'd be more than happy to work with you and show you how to do that. So reason number 3 that your business is probably not successful is because you're probably communicating the value of your product or service to the wrong audience. Okay. Now, this happens when you don't understand who needs your product the most. Okay. When you can identify the people that are in the most pain and in the most need of your product, then it becomes a lot easier to attract clients because you're already communicating to clients that are already hungry for what you have to offer. I know one of my biggest mistakes when I was first starting off was I was communicating to people who were already just like me, who already had the solutions that I already had. And so when I was communicating my story and I was communicating the value, the people, they were receptive to it, but they didn't have a hunger or a need for what I had to offer. So it wasn't until I identified the key pain points and what myself as a service was providing, and then I began to speak to people who had those exact pain points. And then through that, they were able to feel the nourishment from my story enough to want to be a part of my community, my network, and reciprocate my business. So making sure that we are communicating to our correct target audience is so important. And if you're not doing that, then it's gonna make you feel like you're spinning your wheels, because you're gonna end up talking or running ads and consistently spending money and burning yourself out without actually getting any results. Okay, so you gotta make sure you have your target audience down pat. Okay, again, doing research on what's already working and finding out the type of audience that's already buying similar products or similar services is very, very important. All right, now, the number 4 reason why your business is probably not taking off right now is because you're probably being too creative. Guys, this was one of my biggest issues when I first started off. I had so many ideas about how I wanted to do my business. I said, oh, they're gonna love this. Oh, if I had my logo that looked like this, oh, I'm gonna, dress my product up like this because I like this and this is really cool. This really, really feels good to me. That was one of the biggest mistakes that I ever made. Reason being is because in the beginning, I created something that was very, very unique, something that felt really good to me. The problem with that is that I didn't have any proof that what I was making actually worked. In other words, I had no data to support the product that I was designing and branding. And that's one of the worst things you can do in business. You never want to make decisions without having any type of data. So I used to build logos and brands and products, and then when I would go out there and market them, they wouldn't be successful, and I would wonder why. Well, it wasn't until I started reversing my way of thinking, and instead of me trying to be creative and trying to create something unique, I instead looked at what was already working. They always say the most famous phrase, don't reinvent the wheel. Well, guys, that is so true. You don't have to reinvent something if it's already working. What you want to do is find your way to create a replica of what's already working and then add a hint of uniqueness to it that then tweaks what's already working. It's so much more efficient to build a product or service like that than to start from scratch and try to be unique just because it feels good to you. Okay, number 1 thing that kills starting off business owners and entrepreneurs is their own creativity. So please remember that. All right, now the last reason, reason number 5 why your business is probably not succeeding right now is simply because you are afraid of failure. Now again, all 5 of these points are things that I've struggled with, so I've been there. I've been at that feeling where I wanted to have everything prepared and mapped out, and I was afraid to actually do the work and start because I didn't want to fail. Well, let me go ahead and burst your bubble right now and tell you the only way to be a successful business owner, the only way to be a successful business owner is to become a master of failure. You have to become a master of failure. Because all building a business is like a video game where you're just running into random landmines, and you think you're going smooth, and then something happens, and now you have to figure out how to maneuver and how to work around it and how to figure it out. That is the game of the entrepreneur. That is why most people can't succeed with business, because they give up because they're not masters of failure. One word of advice, just accept failure. I wake up and I tell myself every day, I'm used to failing. I'm used to failing. I'm used to failing. Because I know that it's inevitable on the journey that I'm in. So once I become used to it, then it's just something that I use as a tool to help me learn more and more things that are helping improving my business. They say the average millionaire failed over 7 times before they made their first $1 million. So the people who are more successful are the people who failed more. So become a professional failure and you will learn how to succeed in everything in life. If you want more guidance on how to take your business to the next level and making sure that you're hitting, these 5 key things that ensure that your business is successful. Again, if you know the value of your product, if you know how to communicate your product, if you know how to communicate your product to the right audience, if you know how to not make sure you're being too creative and already know how to not reinvent the wheel and do what's already working, and you're not afraid of failure, then there is absolutely nothing stopping you from reaching your goals and being a successful business owner. If you guys would like support on that journey, I'd be more than happy to help walk you through that. Send me a message, let's level up and let's work. I love you guys, peace.